future queen consort, Camilla. She's given a rare interview about her life with Prince Charles and how she has learned to cope with criticism after decades in the spotlight.
Okay, you're not going to believe what just went down behind palace walls. Like, it's not just whispers anymore. Something seriously shocking happened. So scandalous, it left Prince William furious. And guess what? Queen Camilla, yes, Queen Camilla, apparently scolded Princess Charlotte in private. Charlotte, a little girl, the future Queen of England. And what happened next? No one, and I mean no one, saw it coming. William snapped. Like, his voice was icy cold, his face stone hard, and he went full protective dad mode. "That is not how you speak to my daughter," he said. "Can you even imagine?" Camilla thought she was helping. Ha, big mistake. She crossed a line, and oh, she crossed it hard. So what really went down, and why was William's reaction so instant, so fierce? Keep listening because the royal family definitely isn't spilling all the tea, but we are. Let's rewind to when it all started, when love stepped in. The sun was glowing, casting this royal golden hue through those giant palace windows. It was supposed to be a perfect, picturesque royal afternoon. Cameras were set, clicking softly in the background. King Charles III stood tall, smiling with his family, posing for a portrait that looked straight out of a fairy tale. "Everyone ready?" the photographer asked with a grin. William, ever the doting father, adjusted his tie, glanced at his children. 9-year-old Princess Charlotte stood straight as a pin in her adorable blue dress. Prince George, her younger brother, stood beside her. But of course, George being George, couldn't stand still for 1 second. "George, stand still," Charlotte whispered, doing her best big sister duty. But guess what he did? He pinched her. Yep, with that mischievous little grin, he reached over and gave Charlotte a cheeky pinch right on the arm. "Ow!" Charlotte gasped. She spun around, eyes watery, clearly hurt. "That hurt!" And just like that, the room froze. Even the photographer lowered his camera in awkward silence. Queen Camilla was right there, just a few feet away. She saw the whole thing unfold and her smile instantly dropped. "Come here, dear," she said, her tone suddenly firm. Charlotte blinked, confused but obedient. She followed Camilla to a quiet corner of the room. The sound of her little shoes clicking on the marble floor was heartbreakingly soft. "You cannot behave like this during important events," Camilla told her. Her voice wasn't exactly harsh, but it was sharp, stern. "Royal children must know how to behave." Charlotte's lip quivered. "But he pinched me first." "And Camilla?" She cut her off. "That doesn't matter. You're a princess. You have to act with grace, even when others don't." Charlotte just nodded, her eyes huge, trying so hard to be brave. "Yes, Your Majesty." But someone had been watching, and thank goodness. A royal aide who'd been arranging flowers nearby saw the whole scene, and she wasted no time. She headed straight for Prince William, who was casually chatting with guests, completely unaware. "Your Highness," she said, pulling him aside, "I think you should know what just happened." That was it. William's face changed, like, instantly. The smile vanished. His jaw clenched. His eyes darted across the room, and there she was, his baby girl, still standing beside Camilla. Without a second thought, he stormed over. His footsteps echoed. People stopped mid-sentence. You could cut the tension with a knife. "Camilla," he said. His tone was quiet, calm, but there was no mistaking the fury underneath. "I'd like to speak with my daughter." Camilla looked startled. "William, I know exactly what you were doing," he cut in. "But she's my child to guide." He placed a hand protectively on Charlotte's shoulder. Her little face lit up with relief. "Daddy," she whispered. "It's all right, sweetheart," William murmured, kneeling down to meet her eyes. "You did nothing wrong by being upset when someone hurt you." At that moment, Catherine appeared. She had seen everything, and like the mama bear she is, she rushed to her daughter's side, wrapping her in a loving embrace. "Are you okay, my love?" she asked, gently brushing Charlotte's hair back. Charlotte nodded, clinging to her mother. "George pinched me, and then I got in trouble for crying." "Oh, my heart." "You should never get in trouble for having feelings," William said firmly, loud enough for the entire room to hear. The silence was deafening. King Charles cleared his throat awkwardly. The photographer looked like he wanted to disappear, and Camilla, her face turned a deep shade of pink. "I was only trying to help," she mumbled. "Help?" William stood up slowly. "By telling a hurt child that her feelings don't matter?" Nobody dared speak. Even George stopped fidgeting and moved closer to Charlotte, sensing that things had taken a very real turn. "I think we're done here today," William announced. "Children, say goodbye to grandfather." Charlotte tugged gently on her father's jacket as they got ready to leave. "Daddy, did I do something bad?" William knelt again, his eyes soft. No, princess, you did exactly what you should have. You told the truth about how you felt, even to grown-ups, especially to grown-ups. Charlotte smiled for the first time since the pinch. As the family walked out, Catherine squeezed William's hand. Thank you, she whispered. Always, he replied. No one disciplines our children but us. And just like that, a single moment exposed something deeper. William calling out Camilla wasn't just about Charlotte. This was about something that's been simmering for years, a fracture that's never really healed. What fracture, you ask? Oh, just the one that started decades ago, long before Charlotte was even born, before the world ever knew Princess Charlotte, before William even met Catherine. A royal love triangle was already brewing, the kind that would leave lasting scars. And trust me, it all started way back in the summer of 1971. Picture it, a warm London evening, the drawing room lit just enough to feel magical. Charles, the future king, was being introduced to a young woman with laughing eyes and a daring smile. Her name, Camilla Shand. Oh, so lovely to finally meet you, she said with a twinkle in her voice. Charles was instantly smitten. The pleasure is entirely mine, he replied, practically glowing. Their friend, Lucia Santa Cruz, yes, the royal matchmaker herself, watched them like a hawk. She had hoped they'd click. What she didn't expect was the full-on romance of the century. Well, at least the messiest one. Within weeks, Charles and Camilla were inseparable. Polo matches, late-night phone calls, dancing till dawn at Annabelle's. He was hooked. You make me feel like myself, Charles whispered once during a stroll in Hyde Park. And you make me feel like a princess, Camilla replied. Oh, girl, if only you knew. Because not long after, reality hit. Charles was shipped off to serve in the Royal Navy in 1973, and Camilla, left behind, did something that broke his heart into royal shards. She married another man, Andrew Parker Bowles. Charles was devastated, absolutely crushed. And when he came back, it was too late, or so everyone thought. Because guess what? The flame never died, not even a little. Fast forward to 1981, cue the grandest wedding the world had ever seen. Charles married Diana, the fairy tale, or rather the illusion of one. And yet, beneath the sparkle of that crown, Charles's heart still belonged to Camilla. Do you love Diana? A reporter asked. Cue that now iconic moment. Whatever in love means, Charles replied, awkward and cold. Diana, bless her, didn't stand a chance. By the mid-'80s, Charles and Camilla were back on. Secret rendezvous, whispered calls, the affair that wouldn't die. I never stopped loving you, Charles confessed one night. Nor I you, Camilla breathed. When press stories began spinning a softer image of Camilla, William grew suspicious. She's still feeding the media, he reportedly told a trusted aide, still trying to rewrite history. Their relationship was cordial, polite, but never intimate. At dinners, he'd pass her the salt. He'd greet her formally, but never more than that. It's like a delicate dance, one palace staffer said. Careful, scripted, emotionally cold. When Charles became king, Camilla became queen. But even that didn't earn her full access to William's trust. His first major act as heir? Removing Camilla's sister, Annabelle Elliot, from the royal payroll. 20 years of decorating palaces, gone in a blink. She's out, William said, the official line. Her services are no longer required. Translation, message received, Camilla. He was drawing his boundaries, and they were bold. At family dinners now, every interaction was monitored. No more lingering chats, no warmth. Just a queen and a future king pretending they were okay. But they weren't. And then came the illness. Charles's diagnosis sent shockwaves through the palace. Camilla stepped up, like seriously stepped up. She worked long hours, took over public engagements, and supported her husband every step of the way. And William noticed. Then came the second blow, Catherine's diagnosis. It crushed William. He was breaking. And one evening, sitting alone in the palace chapel, Camilla found him. I'm scared, he whispered, not even looking up. I know, Camilla said quietly. So am I. That moment shifted everything. From that night on, William saw her differently. Slowly, the ice melted. She supported Catherine's charities. She attended events without being asked. She made it easier for him, without fanfare. Even Charlotte began to warm up. Do you really have 12 horses, Granny Camilla? Charlotte asked one afternoon. I do, Camilla smiled. Want to meet them? Charlotte nodded, wide-eyed. The thaw was real. But then, just when everything seemed to be healing, Camilla made the mistake of all mistakes. She scolded Charlotte. And just like that, boom! Back to square one. So after all that thawing, after years of cold distance, slow healing, shared pain, and tender new trust, Queen Camilla went and did the one thing you don't do. She scolded Charlotte, a future queen, a child, William's daughter, and not in public, but in private, where tone matters more than words and where things can either break or bond. Well, this one, it broke. Charlotte, sweet and sensitive, stood frozen. She didn't cry, she didn't run, but her silence, loud, her little hands clenched, her eyes wide. That's how the aide knew something was wrong. She went straight to William, and the moment he heard, that man didn't hesitate, no nod, no warning, just a straight walk. Cold, direct, protective. "What exactly did you say to my daughter?" he asked Camilla, voice like stone. Camilla blinked, stunned. "I was just correcting her," she said. "She spoke out of turn." "She's a child," William replied sharply, "and that's not your place. That is not how we raise our children." Boom! Right there. Every wall that had slowly come down was rebuilt in one breath. Camilla didn't argue. She didn't explain further. She just froze, because in that moment, the message was clear. You may be queen, but she's my daughter. After that day, everything changed. Camilla kept her distance. No more lingering chats with the children. No more quiet guidance. Every interaction was public, brief, and observed. The warmth disappeared. The smiles became staged. King Charles tried to fix it behind the scenes. He spoke gently to both sides. He urged unity. But some things, once cracked, just don't glue back clean. Catherine? She didn't speak much about it, but she didn't need to. That night, she simply held Charlotte close and whispered, "You're safe, always." And Charlotte? She didn't mention it again. She didn't need to either. Her silence said it all. From that point on, William was a wall around his children, fierce, focused, unapologetically firm. Staff were instructed, no one disciplines the children but their parents, period. And Camilla, she lost something far more valuable than proximity. She lost trust, access, influence. The little bits she'd gained with each softened look, every shared event, gone. Now she waves, she smiles, but she doesn't get too close. The palace carried on, of course, the photographers clicked, the papers printed polished narratives, but inside those marble halls, the chill returned. George became more reserved, Louis more cheerful, almost like he felt the need to bring the warmth back. And Charlotte, she grew up, a little faster than she should have, watching, listening, walking that line between grace and guardedness. A princess, yes, but one who knew already that even the smallest words can shift power forever. As for William, he said nothing more about that day. He didn't need to. His silence was law. His posture made it clear. These are my children, and they are not to be touched, corrected, or challenged by anyone, not even a queen. And in the quiet corridors of the palace, where the rules aren't written but known, everyone got the message, loud and clear, because in this royal game, the crown may shine, but the future, it walks on little feet with ribbons in her hair, and she will be protected always. Protected always. Protected.